Forrester.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your fun?
Do flowers have best friends?
I don't know. Hey, look.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hello, thank you for listening to WFMCJams.com, Internet Radio. We want to make sure that you listen to some more great music coming from Opry Mills Mall the first Saturday of every month, live on WFMC Jams, hosted by PCG. It is Opry Mills Unplugged. You can hear them from 1 o'clock to 5 p.m., again, first Saturday every month, here on WFMCJams.com.
Welcome to Midnight Madness.
I look at Midnight Madness for the novice as the gateway drug to the festival experience.
Midnight Madness, Midnight Madness, Midnight Madness, yeah.
Midnight Madness. You're gonna get it, the Midnight Madness. You're gonna get it, the Midnight Madness. You're gonna get it, the Midnight Madness. You're gonna get it.
And now the Midnight Madness Show. Here's your host, the DJ Doctor.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Mark, your DJ Doctor, coming to you from a crowded studio in downtown Manchester. Man, the people are going crazy. It's probably more people here than there is in Nashville. Hang on, let's get a live update of downtown Nashville at the St. Patty's Day party. Hear it? There it was. All right. Man, bless your hearts out there, guys. Everyone's at home watching something on Netflix or something tonight. We're here at another Midnight Madness show in Manchester, Tennessee, where it's another rainy day in Manchester, which is a song I think the Hillbilly Heartthrob is going to write. And speaking of that, next to me, as always, is the Hillbilly Heartthrob, former fashion designer for Richard Simmons.
Oh, my God.
The one and the only, Jason, the Hillbilly Heartthrob. How you doing, Jason?
Hey.
Hey. Just work it. Work it.
Yeah.
You Tubbelard, you get up off that seat and work it.
We're sweating to the oldies.
Oh, man. You better not be sweating to me. I'll slap you. So, if they're still on the air, we want to say
just canceled off a Heat FM.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say if we're still on the air, hey Chris out there in New York, we hope you're doing well, and we want to thank Lisa T down there at AlabamaJams.com. Check out her information at Alabama Jams. A big event coming up in May, trying to help money cure cancer. A lot of us have been affected. I've lost a couple of parents due to cancer and a couple of other family members due to cancer. So we're in her corner fighting for that. So check that out. There is a place where you can actually donate if you can't be at the festival yourself. As right now, it's still going on in May 2nd. So check that out. And that's going to bring us back over to Brian, the IT guru. How you doing, Brian?
Doing good.
Are you down there in your well-preserved, sanitized?
Yes, I'm self-quarantined right now, I put up like plastic all around the house. It's a big bubble around the house. So
Brian, the boy in the bubble. I like it. And speaking of that, the one and the only Miss Lovely Velvet Presley is not with us tonight. Can you believe it? She has pneumonia again.
Oh.
I would think as many times she got pneumonia, it'd be old pneumonia by now, but she's got pneumonia again. So, sweetie, take care. I'm sorry. These are just coming from the hip, folks. I can't help myself. I have comic
Careful, you're going to throw that out.
I have comic Tourette's. Is that what it is? And I believe Holly is on the line tonight, my daughter from Indianapolis, or as we used to call her here on the station, Hollywood. Hello, Holly. I love you. So, Jason, why don't you introduce our guest, because I think I offended off most of the people right now.
If you hadn't, we could keep trying.
Well, I'm an equal opportunity offender. Let's just keep on going. Why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest?
All the way from parts unknown, Mr. Jeff Lane.
Hey. Jeff Lane. Yeah, Jeff had drove in for this show.
Quite a ways.
5.5 hours or so. He's more dedicated than we are. I wouldn't drive 10 minutes to see this show. Oh, wait, no.
He knows where the talent is.
Yes, it's Nashville, and he's driving right through us to get there.
I'd give you fellas a hug, but it's probably not the right day for us.
Yeah. Rebecca just sent a message in going, again. Yes, she has pneumonia again. Bless her heart. So I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna cook something nice for her. I'm gonna get out all the kitchen utensils. It's probably chicken soup from Campbell's, I think. But hey, it'd be something nice.
You're becoming a good little housewife.
Yeah, you ought to see me in my apron. Anyways, Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
God. I'm doing pretty good, man.
Good. Yeah, we had to get away from that, so let's get to the main talent here. We're going to have you play a song real quick, and then we're going to get into, this is your life, Jeff Lane kind of show.
Do you care if I play the song in normal time, or do I have to play it real quick?
You play it normal, unless it's Inagata de Vida. But yeah, do a full song in normal speed.
I got you, man. Well, I'm going to have to preview this a little bit with the reason behind. This is a brand new song. A couple of weeks ago, I was kind of just feeling the pressures, and got me thinking about like things that don't have pressure in life and where I came from. And when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time in the river, a whole lot of time in the river. I was joking with my dad, I guess today or yesterday, about once I actually went fishing 100 days in a row when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Because I lived next to a river,
Yeah.
So I would get in the river and wade down. And, a 12, 13-year-old kid back then could do that.
Yeah.
So a song called Back in the River. Got worn out heels on both of my boots. My soul ain't far behind. A strong desire draws me back to my roots, where water flows and the grass is high. It's time load up and leave, and I need to dip my weary feet back in the river. The city sounds like an auger drilling down in a dry September field. I'd like to stand on that once hallowed ground, oh, where my spirit longs to heal. It's time for me to load up and leave, to dip my weary feet back in the river. Lord, guide me to a place where time stands still. You can find me walking slowly off that hill, and it's time for you to load up and leave. And I need to dip my weary feet back in the river. Oh, back in the river. Back in the river. Thank you.
Very nice song. Very nice song. Take You Back Home, reminiscent kind of song. It was nice.
I like that.
I liked your chord progression in that. I liked the way you picked that, the way you played that. That was a different little unique approach to the song. I like that. It made the song.
Thank you.
Excellent. So that came from your childhood, 12 years or so, around that age?
Yeah, I guess most of my life. My dad actually moved up to Smyrna just a few years back because he had a farm over in Southwest Virginia for quite a few years, and it was a river farm too. I was telling him I can remember when I would break free from, I had corporate jobs and stuff like a lot of people, and I would just kind of just show up at his place and walk around and, get up on top of the big old hill and look at the river, and it just kind of takes it away from you, But when you're raised like that, it's kind of your place to go back to,
right?
And just relax for a minute.
Well, that's way cool.
A reset,
So where's home originally for you?
Kingsport, Tennessee.
Is it? Okay. Yeah. Now you're still living there, correctly?
Yeah, I've left. I've left a lot of times. For a long time, I was in the nightclub business, and I would travel around opening bars and even some restaurants for quite a while. I heard y'all talking about Alabama earlier. I've lived in Huntsville, Alabama, and Mobile, Alabama.
Right.
I had a bar in Montgomery, Alabama, and.
Now, was these bars under your ownership, or
no? I had small partnerships in some of them, but I was with a company that used to run the Roper's Rockin' Country chains.
Okay.
And we had those, and Mustang Sally's, and Senor Frog. We had all kinds of these concepts.
I haven't heard of Senor Frogs in forever.
I opened the one in Knoxville.
Did you?
Quite a few years back too.
Wow. Yeah, they had one up in Indianapolis at one time, Senor Frog.
That wasn't us, but there was a lot of chains that came up with that name.
Yep.
I guess we all stole it from Mexico.
And I've eaten at that one, the one of them in Mexico, Senor Frog. Yeah. And the food was a little bit different than what we had up here. Just a little bit different. So it was a little more spicy.
Did you drink the water?
No.
Oh, good.
No. We didn't do that. So what got you into the music business? How old were you when you got bit by the bug?
I was probably bit by the music bug when I was a little kid.
Okay.
I remember my mama had one of those 8-foot long wooden stereo cabinets.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I know y'all are the right age.
We all got them,
that.
We all seen them, yep.
And it was full of cool records,
Yeah.
And back then you didn't have anything on TV to watch.
Right.
I think it's right. It was the year that they came out with the movie channel.
Okay.
And they would give you one free movie a week or something.
Right.
And nobody wanted to pay for it.
No.
And so I would.
Before HBO and them, yeah.
I would lay in her bedroom floor and just look at records all the time and just play them. And I mean, all this good old stuff like, Nazareth and all the Bob Seger, all the Eagles, Jim Croce.
I'm still doing that.
Yeah.
What's that,
good stuff.
I'm still doing that.
Oh, yeah. I love that stuff.
I remember some of those wild covers like Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, and then Elton John, was it something Brown Dirt Cowboy? That?
Yeah, the brown Cowboy Brown Dirt Band.
Yeah, something like that. Had all the space stuff in it.
Yeah, Captain Fantastic.
Yeah,
album.
that's it.
Yeah, I knew what you're saying. I just couldn't spit it out.
Of
but
course,
the
Hotel
Captain
California was a great album cover.
Wasn't it great?
Yeah.
All that stuff. That's what I miss about vinyl.
Yeah, man.
And that's why I'm so tickled when we get the chance to do the vinyl show. It's reminiscent, like your first song. We reminisce, go back, and I could pull albums out and going, I remember where I was at when this album came out. We were talking about Cheap Trick live at the Budokan. The boys played my high school not just months before they went over and cut that album.
Right.
So I can remember, graduating high school and that album coming out, and I'm going like, I know those guys. But that album, I think, was issued in about every household throughout the United States. But I love albums like that. So guys like yourself that are out in the business that are cutting stuff, we just go, man, I wish they'd make it a little bit more affordable so it's a little easier for you guys to cut albums. But some of you guys do, and if you ever get an album cut, you make sure we get a copy of it because we'd like to.
Well, I'll leave you one.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah, I got one with me.
Oh, great. Bless your heart.
It's the one that I actually cut myself, though, in my living room. Just me and a guitar. I use that Personas Studio one.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. Good enough for what I do.
And then cut it on an album.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm actually working on material. That'll be one of the songs on the next record that I want to beef up a little bit.
Yeah.
Probably be working with Sound Biscuit out
Okay.
of Sevierville, Dave Maggard. He doesn't know that yet, but I'm going to be talking to him soon.
Well, if he's listening to the show, guess what?
Dave Maggard.
Making a call. Jeff, why don't we go ahead and go into another song real quick, and we'll keep following up on you.
All right. This goes back into the childhood a little bit, too. I like to write stories about most of the songs I write are little stories or contain bits and pieces about stuff I know about,
Right.
I got to ask you, do y'all remember, going back in that era, do y'all remember those old Naugahyde couches, black with the buttons and stuff on them?
Yeah.
Well, I got to thinking about
that you stick to them when you were sweaty. And,
yeah. They were really cold and they were really hot.
Yeah.
And I got to thinking about when I was a young kid. We didn't have a whole lot of money or anything, but my mama always had cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It always looked cool anyway.
Right.
And I just never thought any different. I thought that was a leather couch, really. And I thought she had leather seats in the Camaro, but they weren't.
No.
So I got to think about that one night and thought about how Naugahyde really applies to my life and kind of my core. So this is a song I actually did at that thing in Crossville that night. It's called Naugahyde. When I was 9, I wanted to smoke, put Mama's Winston Light in my mouth. Took my first drag and I damn near died. She caught me red-handed on a cold black couch. As stick as leather, but a whole lot cheaper. Missing some buttons, but still a keeper. Once upon a time, Naugahyde. Ride was rough in Mama's old Camaro. I always dreamed it'd be mine someday. When the radio played like a rhinestone cowboy, she'd park in the driveway and let it play. She'd go faster, my stomach felt lighter, and white bucket seats would hold on tighter. The upholstery of my life, Naugahyde. Naugahyde, Naugahyde, little cold to the touch, but it warms up fine. And I guess I was always meant to be just like Naugahyde, 'cause Naugahyde's just like me. Mama bought me a fake leather jacket along with my comb. I wore them both out. She said I looked cool and she couldn't tell the difference. They say pride's a sin, but damn, I was proud. I wonder how many Naugas died to make that bomber jacket only she knew was fake. She was always on my side like Naugahyde. Naugahyde, Naugahyde, little cold to the touch, but it warms up fine. And I guess I was always meant to be just like Naugahyde. 'Cause Naugahyde's just like me. Just like Naugahyde. 'Cause Naugahyde's just like me. Thank you.
You don't often hear songs about Naugahyde and furniture.
No.
But he brought back another reminiscence, man. I remember them days and that old Naugahyde. My brother had his little bachelor pad, had that exact, probably, I think there was only one Naugahyde set ever sent out.
Yeah.
So he had that same couch, a love seat, and ugly chair that went with it, 3-piece. But he had the old dark walnut end tables and coffee table.
Yeah.
And then he had the lamp that, like, it stuck from the floor to the ceiling. It had, like, the 3 lanterns off that was amber red and amber and red.
My uncle had those in like blood red, and he had black and white shag or black and red shag carpet.
Oh man,
we were like something that should be in a van.
We were groovy, man. It was groovy.
Shag and wagon.
Wow, that was just wild.
Hilarious.
We met you up there at. Wow.
Good
Jason's being
hands.
aggressive. There'll be none of that in this place.
What in the world?
As sealed off as we are from the outside world, Jason killed a fly on the table
with chopsticks.
I mean, it was Jackie Chan like. It was kind of wild. I almost forgot where I was going, but we met you through Aces at the Grinder House. You were part of that songwriter competition.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in that? Did Asa reach out to you? Did you hear about it?
I saw him post it one day, and I saw they're having them all over the place, and there was some up where I was from too.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something I really like about the Crossville area,
right?
And it's got a little bit of there's different genres that are more popular in different markets,
right?
And I just felt like in Crossville it was being a little bit closer to Nashville that I might fit in a little better.
We got to get you closer to the mic because you're
dropping off.
I'm sorry.
I just thought that maybe being that in that market, because I had such a good show in Crossville before, that it might be the right market for what I was doing. And it was cool because they still had a lot of different varieties of music there that night.
Right.
And I didn't win. I think I did okay, though. I mean, I got several opportunities out of it, including this.
And that's what you're looking for. Sometimes...
Yeah. Picked up a couple of gigs too.
Yeah, just because somebody wins doesn't mean that you lost.
I was in it for the experience of it, and
yeah,
I like little road trips, as you can tell, and and just kind of.
And the judges you had there, your friend Sean Gasaway was there.
I knew Sean Gasaway. Yeah, he's a fantastic rider, man. He's got his hands in everything these days.
And then the other 2 are friends of the show also. All 3 of them were friends of the show.
I never met those guys before, but what was cool about that was both of them were Hall of Fame riders.
Major, yes.
Yeah, and, I started looking at their music catalogs before I went there, and that's kind of why I picked that song, Naugahyde. I felt like, they may relate to that.
Yeah.
Because they're, the era they came from, there were a lot of story songs.
Right.
And I missed that on the radio now. There's hardly, it's all the same cliches over and over again. There's no real life to it anymore.
Yeah.
Well, Adam and I were talking yesterday, and he's back on the John Mellencamp kick. Mm-hmm. And we're sitting there, we're talking about, and John's wasn't the greatest singer on the planet. But he had a great band, and he had great lyrics. And the thing with the lyrics is it's kind of like what you're talking about. It can all take us back to a point somewhere where we all kind of lived it. I think that's the way country used to be. Don Williams could jump off a tractor and go in and sit down and sing. And if it didn't happen to you, it could have, or it happened to somebody that you knew.
Right.
And your songs are like that. It takes you back to a time of a place where, like, man, that was cool. I remember, I'm from Wisconsin. We used to come down here to Tennessee for vacations. I remember jumping in the pond that had tadpoles and stuff in it. We never had anything like that back in Wisconsin. So I think of stuff like that coming back to my uncle's hog farm and slopping hogs.
See, where I came from down here, I spent all the time in the river, so I'd go visit my cousin up near D.C.
Oh, man.
And we would get into, like, the city sewage lines
Oh,
and
my.
I'd catch fish in there, right? I'd catch these like little, I guess they were like little miniature catfish or something about this long.
In the sewer
It was like a creek, right? You know,
It's like a creek, a little more muddy.
But I remember one time he cut his foot on a piece of glass, and his mama went nuts.
Oh, I bet.
I didn't understand. I was like, it's just a piece of glass.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But it's radioactive glass.
Yeah. Yeah. Fish had one eye. So, so you got into singing and songwriting. You were listening to albums at the early age. Who are you listening to today? Are you still going back to the oldies, or is there someone kind of current that you listen to?
You know, lately I've been listening to a lot of Paul Thorne.
Okay.
Love Paul Thorne, and also I'm a huge fan of J.J. Gray. You know of Mofro?
No, that one slips me.
Oh, you should catch up with that. It's some good
Okay.
stuff. He's like a Florida swamp singer.
Ooh, I need to hear that.
Who, he's a real soulful guy.
Okay.
And I've always had a weird crossover with my voice because I had like a storytelling country kind of tinge to it, but at the same time, I feel a soul in my voice that I try to get out sometimes, and it's kind of weird. So people like that really hit me good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, do you get a chance to co-write with any of your artists?
I do. Actually, last week I co-wrote a song with a real good friend of mine, Justin Michaels.
Okay.
He's a touring artist. He's been doing it for 30 years. That's what he does for a living.
Wow.
And my other really good friend, Benny Wilson, I co-wrote a song with him last week too. And it's like I go in spurts. I'll write 2 or 3 songs with people, then don't see them again for months.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you get together and something happens. I would like to do more co-writing though. I was kind of the guy that never was interested in that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because I felt like my style's a little weirder. But when you get together with other people, what I've realized is you can actually put songs together in 2 different ways or 3 different ways, how many there are.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned 2 words get a third.
Yeah. And like I helped, I was part of a songwriting team a few years back, and Justin Michaels actually recorded a song that I finished. We started it all together, and they gave it up on it, and it all kind of came to me, and then he took it and changed it up a little bit for him, put it on his last record. So now I'm getting 3-4 cents a month for Spotify for it.
Woo-hoo! That's why you could afford traveling all the way from Kingsport to here. What's the name of that record so we can get you more money so we can afford to send you back home?
That record is called Lilac. Justin Michaels' Lilac, and the song is, he calls it Mama's Angel.
Okay.
And I call it Lucky.
All right.
Go figure. There's the lines.
Right. All right. That's cool. Yeah. Were you that guy that was pretty much a solo artist, like going through school, or did you play in a band ever?
I dabbled a little bit with bands in high school, and then when I got out of school, I made the dire mistake of getting married when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
And
a youngin'.
Fast forward, I've been divorced 3 times now.
Ooh.
So got two great kids, though, out of it.
Yeah.
But music kind of escaped me for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I remember actually when I was about 18 at this point. I had the first baby, and I was living in an outside building, a storage building behind a house.
Wow.
With a kerosene heater with my wife.
Oh, wow.
And I remember selling my guitars and everything, my guns, everything I had just to live back then. And then some guy came along and bought me a guitar to play in his band, and that lasted for a little while. But
yeah,
just kind of escaped me for years, and I got into bars and nightclubs and restaurants, but I always kind of played, in the dark. So I never really got out in front of people in my adult life until just about 8 or 9 years ago.
Okay.
And I just kind of showed up, and me and my band, 100 Acres, we released a record and played our first show public at the same time on my 40th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm telling my age. I'm getting close to
what a cool birthday party. Yeah, what a cool birthday party.
Yeah, it was neat, man. And it was like like everybody else, I went through the big struggles during the Depression, the recession.
Right.
And I ended up losing a farm over it.
Ooh.
But the music, that was the opportunity for me. The music kind of popped out, and I was like, oh, yeah, I can't lose that.
Right.
Lost everything else. But that's kind of what started all this for me. And I tell people I do it all again. As music, it's always in your head. So.
Yeah. I did that 6-year hiatus from music, and sold my drums and all my musical stuff, PA and all that. And looking back, that was one of the worst mistakes of my life. I've made some major mistakes in my life, and that was one of them in there too. I would say that, because I'm like going, that's who I was, and to get rid of that, it was like getting rid of part of your soul, And it was about 6 years in the making, and then I got a drum set, not a drum set, but a part of a drum set. Yeah. And then I just like Legoed it. I just put another piece, and then I found another piece, and I built this little piece of junk drum set, and I got back playing, and it was rusty. It was terrible. My head knew everything. My body says, nope, not today. Yep. And I still go through that to this day, because back then I played every day, hours and hours a day. Now I don't play like I should. But, it's one of those things that it's inside me, and those 6 years were pretty tough. Yeah. But I'd hear songs, and I was playing in my head, playing in my heart, and air drummed a lot, and made a lot of people look at me strange. What are you doing? I'm playing drums. No, you're not. You're having seizures.
Let's go to another song.
Let's go another song, Jason. Are you going to sing this one?
No.
No?
Let's hear me next week.
I cannot wait for next week. It's a roasting party. Jason's turned, you turned 58 this week?
58. I ought to slap you.
I wish you would. A couple of days ago,
condolences.
Was it yesterday? It was yesterday, your birthday.
Sunday.
Sunday was your birthday.
Yeah, I turned 43.
43. Yeah. He was born the year I graduated. Makes me feel so much better.
Daddy.
Yeah. Please, Jeff, play another song, and we're going to mute the mics. I'm going to kill him off air.
All right, I'm going to play a creepy mountain song. I'll tell you a little story behind this one.
Okay.
I spent a lot of time down in the Gatlinburg area. Was pretty involved for a while with the Smoky Mountain Songwriter Festival.
Love that. Love that place.
And that's actually where I met Sean Gassaway years ago, too.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So a friend of mine down there named Rowdy Reese Thornton. I don't know if y'all know him or not.
Name sounds familiar.
He's a guy that, for a while, he was walking around downtown with a guitar, and he would just play on the sidewalk for the city.
Okay.
And I met him, literally, he was, during the festival, they were camping in the backyard of the Gatlinburg Inn.
Okay.
Right, with a tent.
Yeah.
And he had this stand-up bass with him, and he just kind of pop in these jam sessions. And I liked him, and we wrote a song that weekend together. Then he called me up one day and wanted me to go meet somebody. So we ended up taking this trip. He lives in Newport, so I met him in Newport, and we met this preacher who took us to this little cabin in the woods, and this is like on a Sunday, right about dark. And if y'all ever heard of Wiley Oakley, the famous mountain man of the Gatlinburg era, and all that. Well, he had a son named Casey Oakley, and we were going to meet Casey Oakley, who was like in his 80s at this point. And I swear the guy looked just like Willie Nelson. Had the long white hair and the kind of the parka, the Indian parka, and headband, the whole deal, And we just kind of wanted to go talk to him and get song ideas. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of stuck my phone out and started recording because it was cool. And he told us this story about when he was 5 years old, he could remember dying. Actually remembered dying and floating on the ceiling. And he told the story it gave me cold chills to hear it. And he said that when they pronounced him dead, he remembered looking down and his mama was crying, and the doctors packed up their bags and left the room, and she fell down on her knees and started pushing on his belly like that, and said, Lord, don't take him. I love him. Don't take him. He said all of a sudden he just got kind of drawn back in. And I was like, I have no reason not to believe this man, And a very spiritual man, knows a lot about, the spirits of the mountains and all that. And he said his dad pretty much taught him to be a mountain man too, and taught him a lot of tricks. Mm-hmm. So we put a little song together, me and old Reese, about it, called You Won't Find the Lord Till You Get Lost. It's going out to my dad who's listening right now. Lord, I love him. Please don't take him. Cried my mother I was gone, good Lord dropped me back in my cold body. Let me stay here just a little while more. Daddy took me high up on the mountain so he could show me how to get old. There it is, son, thine cup of the fountain for you to drink from and clean your soul. To the mountain, now you're free. It's time for you to climb your family tree. You'll not hear his music till your feet sink in the moss, and you won't find the Lord till you get lost. I'll be ready when my heart stops beating. It must be broken for him to mend. I'll fly up to Daddy's place on the mountain. Behold the earth below and let her spin. Welcome to the mountain, now you're free. It's time for you to climb your family tree. You'll not hear his music till your feet sink in the moss. You won't find the Lord till you get lost. Thank you.
Very, very nice. Jeff, you talked about earlier that you had a song you got on somebody else's record. Do you have anything out, full production? You have an album out. Can they buy that anywhere? You got anything that people can get their hands on?
If they just go to my website, everything's available on there. It's jefflanemusic.com.
jefflanemusic.com.
Yeah. I have a record on there, my most recent record, where you saw the pretty picture from.
Mm-hmm.
That's called Songteller, and it's all stuff kind of like this, just me and a guitar.
Okay.
And then I have another record on there called Music in Your Mouth, which is Jeff Lane and 100 Acres, my band.
Okay.
And it's got some pretty cool stuff on it too. We're kind of we've got kind of a little bit of a honky-tonk element to mountain, I don't know, Americana flavored. It's a lot of sound, man. That's
Cool.
good stuff.
Cool. Now, how many piece band is this?
5-piece.
5.
Yep.
Now, is drums involved in this?
Yeah, drums, and I usually play acoustic, and I'm the front man, and Quentin Horton playing the Telecaster,
Mm-hmm.
and Matthew Oakes on mandolin.
Oh, cool.
And it's 3-part harmonies all the way. It's good stuff. We've played, I don't know, probably about 300 shows together now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a really good act. The thing about it is, those guys are busy too. I've been doing this acoustic thing for a bit now, trying to get around and find new places and meet new people. And,
right.
All those guys have other musical projects as well, but it's kind of like, the Super Friends are like,
yeah,
and everybody shows up
yeah.
for a big show, and it's like nothing ever happened, man.
Isn't that a cool feeling, though?
It is. Those guys know my songs better than I do.
Yeah, it's cool when you have that group that you can just get together,
Yep.
and it don't matter how long ago it was, that you last played.
Yeah.
It just seems like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, I'll be like getting ready to sing the first verse of one of my songs, and I'll just totally black out and not know what I'm doing. And both of them on both sides of me will start.
Oh, wow.
And I'll be like, all right, you got me. You got my back.
There you go. Music is a family, man. It's and
Sure
being in
is.
a band is a family. And sometimes that's really, really great, and sometimes it's not so hot because we're family, and sometimes we wear on each other. We don't always agree, but it's that get together and put your differences aside and move on. So it's pretty cool. I love that band feeling. I've never been a solo artist. I'm a drummer, so it's hard to be a solo artist. Yeah. Hey, my next song is, and then just,
Well, Phil Collins did it.
Yeah, but he did it not as a drummer, though. He stood out. I'm not a singer. I'm not a songwriter, so I don't do the Don Henley, Phil Collins, Philip Bailey kind of thing. I'm more the sit back and just hit stuff with sticks kind of guy. So
he's like the caveman of the group.
I'm the caveman of the group. I'm the primitive one. We got time probably for 2 more songs, so we ought to hit one out real quick. Right. What would you like to tickle us with on the next one?
How about this is a good one here. I'm sure y'all know, familiar with Kim Williams.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I had the opportunity to meet him and learn a little bit from him before he left, and I'm still friends with Phyllis.
Okay.
And right after Kim passed, we were having dinner with Phyllis, and just out of nowhere, she said, I got to tell you something that Kim said before he died. And she said, he told me 2 things that made me think that he knew. So, okay, what was it? And she said, the first thing he said was, when you've got more memories than dreams, it's time to go.
Oh, wow.
I was like, whoa. And then he said, I'm going to make an ash out of myself.
Oh, wow.
And if you knew Kim, he was a nut.
Right.
I mean, he was funny, had a big, loud voice. He was such an inspiration for so many songwriters. So fast forward a little bit, I ended up being invited to his memorial service at the Country Music Hall of Fame, right? And I was thinking there'd be 1,000 people there, right? But no, I was lucky enough. There was like 60 of us.
Yeah, and you go, how?
Yeah,
how?
I don't even know. And the first person I met was Garth.
Yeah.
Shaking hands at the door. Like, wow, surreal. And Garth got up and did some songs. And so Phyllis came up and said, Jeff, what are you doing after you leave here? And I said, well, I just, I came down for this. And she said, well, I'm going to Loser's Bar, and I'm going to make mayonnaise and tomato sandwiches for everybody.
Oh, wow.
In the VIP section, which is the patio.
Yeah.
So I said, well, that's where I'm going. So everybody from there ended up over at Loser's Bar. This is like, I don't know, maybe I don't remember what night it was. It was a weeknight, so it wasn't like a busy night. And she was riding that night with Robbie and Donna Hopkins. And Robbie was being mentored by Kim big time.
Right.
And so she asked Robbie to go get his guitar, get Kim's old guitar out of the truck. And she wanted to hear everybody playing Kim songs. And everybody's eating these sandwiches, mayonnaise all over. And so they all start up, and I'm ashamed, but I didn't have any Kim songs in my arsenal, so I just kind of watched.
Right.
And I was leaning up against the wall, and I had a bucket of beer in my hand. I'll never forget it. And I was just kind of looking, watching, and they were all just having a great time. And I looked over at Phyllis, and she was kind of off to the side at this table, this bar table, and she was smiling from ear to ear. And I looked over her shoulder, and on the table, underneath the neon sign, I'm not making this up, was Kim's ashes.
Really?
And I was like, wow, I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
And the next day, in a gas station bathroom, it all hit me right square in the eyes, the song. And And I wrote it, most of it, on the way back home that day. It's called On My Way to Heaven, Take My Ashes to a Bar. And Phyllis has co-writing credit on this. On my way to heaven, take my ashes to a bar. When the clock strikes 11, break out my old guitar for one last happy hour, wash away my sins, and break some bread with all my rowdy friends. Sit me on a table beneath the neon sign, so all my friends could see me have a damn good time. When you've got more memories than dreams, it's time to go. I know, but I just wanna go out slow. On my way to heaven, when we get back in the car, crank the radio up to 11 and look up at the stars, 'cause that's where I'll be headed to reunite with my kin. But till then, a toast with all my friends. Sit me on a table beneath the neon sign, so all my friends can see me have a damn good time. When you've got more memories than dreams, it's time to go. I know, but I just wanna go out slow. Well, my friends, it's time for my ship to set sail. So tonight, I'm gonna make an ash out of myself. Sit me on a table beneath the neon sign, so all my friends could see me have a damn good time. When you've got more memories than dreams, it's time to go. I know, but I just wanna go out slow. Go out slow. On my way to heaven. Thank you.
Very nice.
I like that one a lot.
Your songs are very descriptive. They're very cool.
Well, you know, Kim always said, you got to put furniture in the room.
And if it's Naugahyde, it's even better.
That's right. I only got to take one. I was in one of his classes. It was like a co-write session. It was at the Gatlinburg Inn, actually. Okay. And there was about, 25 people in there, so it was kind of impossible to really co-write, you know.
Right.
But and I finally just laid my guitar down and started taking notes, man. This guy was a genius.
Oh, yeah.
Genius. Everything he did was, you know, he would let the lines come in. You could throw whatever you wanted in place, and then you go back and you make everything better.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and something, too, I like, you know, one of the better writers out there these days, in my opinion, is Jason Isbell. He writes extremely good lines. Yeah. And me and my buddy Justin Michaels were analyzing some of his songs. And the cool thing about his songs, it's like a lot of songwriters, when they write a verse, they've got maybe one really good line in it. And they're just, the rest is filler.
Right.
And I think that's where he doesn't stop. Every line, every part of every line is cool.
Right.
You know, and makes it different.
We got the lucky chance to last year when all the festivals were going hot and strong. Unfortunately, some of them are already canceling early this year, and hopefully that'll get over with soon, and we get back onto our merry way. But I think we saw Jason live maybe 3 times last year, and I think we're scheduled to see him, if everything works out, should see him 2 times this year.
Right.
And always a great show.
Man.
The one that cracked me up was his wife plays. She has her own band, and out of the blue, here's Jason comes off the side, far left of the stage, turned sideways so he wasn't facing even the crowd. He was kind of nonchalant and just wailed on guitar because people forget how good a guitar player he really is,
started out
too.
as the guitar player for the Truckers, right?
Drive-by Truckers. Yeah, him and the Hood Boy, David Hood's son. And he was playing guitar over there, playing lead, and just phenomenal. That was the first time I got to see him live, and then I've seen him 3 more times the rest of his own act with Jason Isbell and the 400 unit. Great show.
You was talking about Kim a moment ago.
Yeah.
And I remember when I met him. And he got out to perform. He had this great big book. He sat down to play his songs. And I thought, you had how many hits? You've got to have the lyrics in front of you. Yeah. He looked at me and said, if you can remember all the words to all your songs, you're not writing enough.
That's right. That's right. I've heard him say that, too.
Now, I got to meet his wife over in Gatlinburg, right after he passed, which was, 2 years ago?
It's been a little longer than
that.
3? Has it been? Because
maybe 4 years ago.
Has it been that long? Yeah. So I seen her the year after he passed over at Gatlinburg. I got to meet her over there, and then I think I met her one more time in Nashville. So
I'll never forget. I was actually hanging out with them on New Year's Eve last year. He was alive. He was in Bristol, and all of us ended up watching Benny Wilson play at the Holiday Inn that night.
Wow!
Right? And it's like, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning in this hotel room. Everybody's just passing this guitar around. And he picked up the guitar and he played "If the Devil Danced in Empty Pockets." Mm-hmm. And, he was so loud. He was having such a good time. I remember the laughter while he was laughing on the lines and stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was monumental for me, man. That's one of the best things I remember ever seeing in the music world.
Oh, yeah.
Last time I saw him.
I love those moments, those once-in-a-lifetime moments, Those are really cool. Well, Jeff, we got time for one more song.
One more.
So kick us off, and then we'll say our final bits and let you head out of here tonight.
I'm going to play, if it's okay, I'm going to play the first track off my newest release, Songteller.
Sure.
And I don't – sometimes people get mad when they hear the title, but the song is much deeper than the title. It's called "Me and Jesus Having a Beer."
Okay.
And it's another one of my intricate story songs.
All right.
It's about finding the light when you need it the most, really, is what it's about.
All right.
Just one of those nights, just driving around. Somehow I ended up on the other side of town. Pulled into a church parking lot. The only soul there left to be found. The sign said, "Come as you are, you're always welcome here." So I parked under the light and I opened another beer. I was just sitting there reading the label when I heard a familiar voice in my ear. He said, "Son, I'm glad to see you back. I hope you brought enough for 2. I offered him a cold one. He said, "I don't mind if I do." That's all right. Here's to a pretty night. We talked all about the broken pieces of my life, my 5 minutes of fame, and about all my ex-wives. Well, Well, I got over them. But talking about the kids must have plucked out my eye. I put on my sunglasses and I blamed it on the light. Truth is, I guess I didn't want him to see me cry. We were just sitting there in the car, him and me, and my pride. Here's the salt in your eye, son, and your sordid past. But you can take it from me, sometimes we all end up on our ass. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Here's to a pretty night. That old church lit up like a Victrola jukebox, and I heard music inside. When I woke up, all my empty cans were gone. I felt rested. Been a while since I slept that long. We just had this crazy idea for a song. A song about me and Jesus having a beer, just the two of us in a 98 Cavalier. We were navigating through times that weren't quite so clear. Sometimes you need a father, but sometimes you need a friend. You can take that advice from me, then you can make it up to them. It'll be all right. Here's to a pretty night. If you have any more questions, son, just stop by anytime. Anytime, day or night. Thank you very much. That's on the Songteller CD.
Excellent. Now, check out Jeff's website, jefflanemusic.net or .com. Check it out. Find out where he's playing at. Get his music.
Yep.
Support him. Thank you, Jeff, for traveling all the way to Kingsport.
Thank you all for having me. This is awesome. I love your place here.
Oh, thank you. We're glad you're...
I love what you've done with it.
Well, yeah. we're making new skylights. Yeah. If the weather would whatever cooperate,
I like
we
the
fix
fountain
that.
coming out of the ceiling there. That's nice.
Hey, it's a reverse effect. It works. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight.
Don't forget to tune in next week. Another great show for you.
Oh, man.
Great show.
Absolutely.
We have the one and only. The Hillbilly Heartthrob is going to be roasted next week. It's his birthday show. With special guests. Melissa Alessi will be here being one of the roasters.
Right.
You're the roastee.
Right.
So it'll be a great show. I can't wait because I can't wait. We're going to have a real Midnight Madness show and just cuss you out the whole show. Whole hour long just cussing Jason.
Are we going to do
first
it at
time.
midnight?
What's that, Brian?
Are we going to do it at midnight?
No, unfortunately not. So we'll have to keep it PG-13. So, but check out next week. It's Jason's birthday party show with special guest Melissa Alessi. We can't wait for that. And then we want to thank Lisa T down at AlabamaJams.com. Thank you, Lisa. Chris out at HeatFMRadio.com out in New York. Thank you very much. We have Steve here with brownies. That he said he did not make them from Colorado. That he made them here, so they're local. So,
THC brownies.
Yeah.
With heroin topping, heroin dust.
We are, Jeff.
Just kidding.
Jeff, we are a block away from the police station. Who does listen to our show?
Really, they're not.
We love you, Adam Floyd, Officer Floyd. We love you guys. But
I am nowhere in Manchester. Yeah. Just remember that. I don't know these people.
Yeah, no idea. Just accidentally came upon the show. We want to say get better to Rebecca. Again, she has pneumonia, so take care, Rebecca. I'll see you in just a few minutes. For the Hillbilly Heartthrob and myself, I'm the DJ Doctor. And for Mr. Jeff Lane, thank you for being part of the show. Until next week, y'all wash your hands, please. Good night.